Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we are going to be finally giving you the goods that you all have been wanting, yearning, and just chomping at the freaking bit for, which is all the data that you need to know for the teams. We're also going to go over potential matchups that I'm throwing out there as my predictions, and then we might give you a general overview. So as always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up, because it helps out a lot. And obviously, big shout out to Rich and our data bot, because it would not be possible for me to put these things together as quickly as I can now without the use of it. So for anyone who would just like more information on it, being able to try and find information like this, link to the bot Discord in the pinned comment description down below. Let's give a quick overview before we go into what we're going to be showing you off today. Starting with, we have 130 kingdoms that are technically in this pre-war, and to give you an idea on what that looks like, I can just come on over here. If we scroll all the way out, just to give you a quick view, if you go to Season of Strife and you click on pre-war, all the kingdoms here. If you go to pre-strife, all the kingdoms here. Those are the ones that are involved. Let me lower that a bit. Okay. That brings us to the 130. Now, keep in mind, not all of these kingdoms could technically register because you need to have a king or queen in said kingdom in order to do so. There are 99 kings and queens, again, at the time that we pulled this, where out of 130, you could see 76.15% could have actually registered. Out of those kings and queens, 87 of them registered, where we have, I believe it's 87 here, and then the one here, so it technically would have been 88, but I'm just counting the dragonfall registered, so you can see right almost 88%, which still isn't bad. And then these are the kingdoms that did not register. Okay, with that in mind, let's go in and we're going to show you the teams. Let me break down the columns real quick. So there is going to be some new stats that we're going to be showing you today. One, we're going to show you who the team is, meaning who's the top alliance in that, or the alliance that registered that you would see on the team list if you go and you click on a character. Let me see if I'm in one right now. 378, I think I am. So if I go here, and well, dang it. Usually if you click team here on any of these kingdoms, then you would see what the team is, right? So basically it's just that alliance that's there. Usually it's the number one alliance. So we'll show you the alliances. We're going to show you the kingdom numbers. Now, everything's in order, right? So kind of left to right, kingdom, and then that's how the team looks. Power, which is combined power. So basically what we did is we looked at the top 300 player powers for each of these kingdoms, and then we combined each of those kingdoms to give you a team power. Same thing with kills, deads, and heals. It's top 300 player accumulated kills, top 300 player accumulated deads, and heals. And then we add each of the kingdoms up, and that's where you get a team power, team kills, team heals. So again, we're going balls deep here, fam, and I am so excited and ready for it. Then we're giving you a kill to heal ratio, and then we're showing you the 60, 80, 100, 125, 150, and 200 million plus, how many players are in each team, and then we show you the total number of T5s from 60 million plus, along with the total number of 100 mil plus players. Now, also keep in mind, this data that I'll be showing you was pulled on the 7th. So, again, it's, I guess, about 4 days ago, but technically 3 days, if you will, right before they got locked in for matchmaking. So, still very accurate. I don't think we're going to see any large margins of, people powering up 3 days before, right? We'll probably see more of that on Brink of War. However, I will also do another one of these, for those of you wondering, post Brink of War. So once Brink of War finishes, that we see a lot of more people powering up, we'll do another one of these by the time, either before Zone 1 starts in the KvK or before Zone 2, where we'll probably see actually some of the fighting, that we'll do this again. So try to give you the most accurate piece of data before the PvP really starts to actually happen. With that in mind, let's go ahead. So here we go. Let's show you the teams. So we got 29, 216, 235, 285, and 377. We're starting with the Ds and Cs, and then you'll see the break here for the As and Bs. This is SGW, WAN, ANG, UST, and 377S. You can see they come in 38.68 billion power. This is their, and again, we'll do more of a deep dive breakdown on the kills, deads, heals, and then how these look. I'm just going to show you the teams, kingdoms, and powers for each, just so we can kind of get through this a little bit quicker. BBO, hashtag DK, hashtag go, sent, that's 71, 87, 89, 240. They're coming at 45.01 billion power. Then we look at the next group. We got 9, 39, 47, 66, 284, 380. This is INW4, mod, -FU, ANCS, RN, :W, right? And then SURA, or SURA. Next group, they come in at 48.24 billion power. Next group, 54, 80, 226, 315, 375, and 376. This is colon 54 colon, UDF, AVIC, 3TL, NXW, and MAD, exclamation point. They come in at 48.94 billion power for their team. This next one we have R squiggly R. Listen, man, the squiggly, it just makes sense. Gray BOM squiggly S, CFRA, T-DS, and DTF. Down to have fun. 28, 52, 64, 82, 126, 148. They come in at 49.74 billion power. Then we look at the next group, which is 22, 38, 214, 282. We got VP22, Mojo, KL7, K282. They come in at 49.88 billion. And if you're wondering, yes, I have ordered these in power of top 300 player power for each of them, right? So you're looking at the team top 300 player kingdom power, if that makes sense. And yes, it's ordered bottom up. Next strongest is SLR, exclamation point. We got SVR, OG, space C. Yes, I will say space because I'm fancy like that. L2NV, SHP, ampersand, which I believe is how you say that word or letter. W-T, this is 55, 73, 84, 92, 33, 280. They come in at 55.19 billion power. Then we look at FVP, -VH, Chubb, DAU, RR84, PTKG. That's Kingdoms 1, 34, 37, 44, 384, and 386. They come in at 58.47 billion power. Then we look at the last and strongest, at least power-wise, team in the group, which is MFD, RVEN, L0CY, or Lossi, MBH, LOC, hyphen, and JKL. Just kidding, lying, or something like that. Who knows? 63.57 billion power. Now, let's get into what could be considered, right, the main event. And so this is going to be starting with the ABs. We have 36, 67, 222, and 287. That's FSK, AXT hyphen, HOUW, SJT. They come in at 69.44 billion power. Then we look at 23, 27, 62, 88. This is RKT Squiggly, Laws, hyphen, FG hyphen, and Dawn. They come in at 72.15 billion power. Then we look at the next group, 32, 49, 219, 283. This is Gen or G3N, NTS, colon, MM, colon, and RFF. They come in at 76.63 billion power. Next group, we got 7, 31, 56, 57. This is hyphen TC hyphen POTC, WTF underscore, and NF57. They come in at 78.42 billion power. Then we get Kingdoms 30, 119, 134, 232. This is hyphen NA hyphen L squiggly AW, L squiggly TS. Just love how it worked out that way. YBD. They come in at 80.25 billion power, breaking the 80 bill team power threshold. Then we get to 360, 68, 266. Whoever they're going to get matched up with will probably be looked at. Hyphen RK hyphen. This is Echo hyphen HF squiggly, and then RA hyphen C. They come in at 82.74 billion. Now we get, I think this is second to last, we have 48, 61, 70, 85. Kong, EIS, BXS, PTW. They come in at 82.9 billion power. And then the strongest group, or the strongest team, I should say, in the AB, out of the AB tiers, is Kingdoms 41, 81, 229, 286. This is BD-O, DBB, SSG, WG, colon, L. They come in at 85.39 billion power. Now, we're going to take a look at some predictions. This is what I think we could see, based on a number of factors that we'll be showing and highlighting, and also taking into account that sadly, there really aren't like super even matchups that you'll probably see, but these are ones I think could work. And again, I'd love to hear if you agree or disagree, or who would you match up with who? And we'll be showing you an easier way to view that here in a little bit towards the end. So the first one we need to show you is that there are some kingdoms that do not have a team, because I know that's probably something some people were wondering, is like, boss, are you going to cover that? Yeah, we're going to cover that. So 8, 45, 74, 218, 277, and 378 do not have a team. Only one Paragon realm, which was 218, that's a B-seed kingdom, did not register, at least amongst the Paragon kingdoms. But you have 4 Ds, and then you have 2 AB. If you were to combine their power, they would come out to 5285. Now, will they do that? Will they just make a team of 45 and 218, and then they'll make a team of 874, 277, 378, and then maybe try and do something there? Okay, maybe. It will be interesting to see how they play that one out. But that is those guys going left to right in Kingdom Order. That's M-T, squiggly, squiggly, BB, H0RD or Horde, E13, HOGW, and Meat. I could say that because it just makes sense. And then we have the one matchup that may or may not get a pairing, right? This is where I had put them just because they were kind of the odd out based on how we looked at it, and it'll probably make sense here in a sec. So let's go to the first pairing. This is, I think, the first pairing. We're going to start, like I said, CDs, we'll work our way up. We're going lowest to highest. This is a pairing I think could work based on the numbers. Again, I'm going to show differentials, so for those of you that are curious, right, I will show that. It was just a late night last night, so once the teams are officially announced, I'll show what those differentials are. But for now, I've just highlighted kind of who leads in which particular column, just so it might be a little more visually appealing and easy on the eyes. So you can see here that, and I'll just say the FVP, or the VP22, I'll just use the first alliance tag to indicate for each team to make it easy. So I don't have to say the whole thing. So we got FVP that leads in this one, right? They got about a 9 bill power lead. I mean, that's pretty decently significant. Kills goes on VP22. Deads go in FVP's favor. Heals go in VP22's favor. We got, about a 0.2 grade higher on kills to heals, or KD if you want to say that. VP22 takes that. They take 60 million plus, 80 million plus, 100 mil plus, and 125. However, when you look at the total T5s in the 100 million, it's not that egregious, right? It's plus 28 in favor of them, and then plus 6 in the 100 mil. So, I mean, obviously there is an advantage. But like I said, that's one matchup that I think could happen. The next one here is where we have RR and BBO. So this one, RR leads in power by about 4.7 billion. Kills, you could see about 15. Deads, we're looking at, 9? So it's actually really close. Heals, about 11 bill more. About a 0.12 differential. You can see 134, leading. Totals 221 T5s. This is at 60 mil plus, to be specific. And then they only have 6 more 100 mil pluses. So again, it's close-ish, but an advantage would be going in favor of them. But again, keep in mind that the one determining, or the overall, the biggest X factor that we can't really allocate for is activity and engagement. So there's always that as well. Next matchup, maybe we could see, would be MFD and 54. So in this, MFD leads in power. You can see this is about a plus, 15 billion. So it's decent. Kills, plus 7, 18. Deads, plus 120 mil. Heals, 24. Then you could see, but the KD is in favor of 54, so interesting there. When we look at the total numbers, you could see 242 T5s and then only plus 3. So you're looking at a plus 18, if I can count right. Plus 18 total T5s in favor of MFD and only plus 300 mil. So I mean, it's pretty close when you look at those numbers, right? Even if the power discrepancy is decent at that point, right? So for me, what I was mainly looking at was what's the total T5s and then what's the 100 mil pluses at, and then looking at something like power and then going to the other metrics for at least how I looked at it going in. Here we got SLR and INWA or INWA or 4. So they lead about a plus 7 billion here on the power. Kills in favor of INWA looks like plus 16, 17. Deads, we're going 14, 33, so 47 million in favor. We got only about a 1 bill differential, but INWA on their side is actually closer to breaking even at 0.94. Right, so you're seeing a plus 0.22 increase. When we look at totals, this is kind of how we want to see it, right? We want to see one group with more T5s, overall T5s, and the other side with more 100 mil pluses, because we feel like that's a little bit more of an even indicator. And we also would like to see the power potentially be a little bit more in favor of the total T5s versus the 100 mil pluses, depending on what the margin is. So for me, I don't actually think this matchup is that bad. You have plus 12 100 mil pluses on the INWA side, but you do have plus, what is that, 1077 more T5s. So, I mean, again, is 12 more 100 mil plus players equal to about, I mean, if you're factoring in at 60 mil, maybe it's 2 per 100 mil at that point. So yeah, maybe the favor is a little more slightly in SLRs, but I still think the matchup is closer than what some of the other matchups would have been, if that makes sense. Now let's get to the ABs. Here we got RKT FSK. RKT in their group, 72.15 to 69. So again, about a 3 build difference. It's not that bad. Kills very close. Deads very close. Heals very close. FSK takes the lead about a 0.09 on the KDAs. Then we get to the totals 506 to 384 and then 72 to 53. When you look at that, it looks like it's leaning a lot more on the RKT side. And again, I wouldn't not argue that. The power obviously is close, but and keep in mind, what everyone has to take into consideration is that teams are locked in. So you can only get the best matchups that you can get based on the teams that are available, which means that you're not going to be able to get maybe things ideally compared to if maybe like the devs chose matchups for an example, or if I was able to go through all the kingdoms and say like these are the matchups I would do for teams as an example. Then we get to the next one, which is a Gen and TC. So TC leading about a 2 billion differential on the power. We got about a 36 billion differential on kills going in Gen's favor. Very close in deads, right? 8 million, maybe 9 if you want to round that separates. Heals, very close 5. But Gen getting the 1.2 kill heal or KDA, right at 0.3 greater than the TC side. When we come over here to totals, we got 636 T5s on TC. We got 137 100 mil pluses on the other side. So this is how we want to see it though, right? We want to see more total T5s and more power on one side and then more 100 mil pluses on the other side. However, is 38 more 100 mil pluses? And keep in mind, this is just before Brink of War. People are going to power up and these numbers can change, right? Personally, I almost would argue I would like to see Brink of War play out before matchmaking results happen. I would really like to know if you agree with that. The reason I say that is because you don't know how much people are going to power up. And because there's been so much migration movement and because people are excited about the new season, people will power up. And so to me, I would almost like to see them do Brink of War first and then do the results after. So you can form your teams, then you do Brink of War, then you do matchmaking, and then you do results and you start the season. Because I just feel like you can see swings in Brink of War that we've seen before when we've collected data. So this is how it looks. Okay, next pairing I would predict would be Kong NA. This is about a 3 billion power favor on Kong's side. We got about 23 billion more kills. Dead's a little bit more steep, right? This is 125 mil more deads. Heals close. Both are over the break even of the 500 point, right? So there's only about a 0.1 greater KDA in favor of Kong. And then when you get to the totals, I mean, again, it is more, right? This is 741, 237. So you're looking at, what's that? 15, 100, 115, 156 more total T5s. And then at 100 mil plus, you're looking at, 30, 31, 68 more 100 mil. I mean, yeah, the favor obviously would be in Kong's on this side, even though they are close in power. Next matchup, and this would probably be what I think is a pretty close-ish matchup between the top two, and I think would probably be one people would be excited to see, is BDO and RK. And so we have power here, which is about 2.5 billion in favor of them. Kills in favor of RK. You see 12, 18, 30 billion. Deads in favor of BDO. They have 144 million more. Heals, very close, but the KDA goes in favor of the RK side, right? 0.2, but both over 500. Then we look at the totals and 100 mils. You can see total T5s, there's, 38, 48 more in favor of RK. And then on the 100 mil pluses side, they have, 53, if I can count correctly. 53 more that they have on that. Now, again, because I'm sure some people would appreciate being able just to see, boss, can you just give us a nice overview? Sure, I'm more than happy to. Why? Because I'm a gentleman. So I am going to, I really want to shrink myself, but because I'm going to be super nice today, I'm just going to turn the cam off for a moment because I'm sure people will want to get their screenshots. But I want to show this because this is something that just makes it easy if you want to look at the matchup. And then for those of you that want to tell me your pairings, if you have one, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Right? Do you agree? Do you disagree with my predictions on what the teams or what the matchups could be? And then on top of that, how would you do it? Because I really want to hear, and I would love to hear your thought process. Again, whether you're using the data that I'm showing, if you are applying, or if you're using this and applying your own. This is how I see it. And again, I ranked these in power based on this column here. So everything here is bottom up for ABs, and then DCs are ranked up, and then we have the no team here. So again, right, which metrics do you value the most? I think that's the interesting part about when we talk about predictions is some people might value different data sets more, and you might prioritize. That's how I feel about it, which is I would value 100 mil pluses, total T5s, and then I would go into power, because power can also indicate total amount of troops. And then I would start to look at the amount of kills, and I would probably go in order of like kills, deads, heals, or maybe deads, kills, heals, right? Something to that effect. And then obviously the KDA would probably factor in last. Now, we could have potentially included things like merits, and I had a conversation with some people on the Gen Discord about this, and I'll go ahead and put the cam up now because I probably only needed to really remove it for a moment so you guys can get your screenshots. But the thing about merits is that the only way I would count merits is if I could see the merits gained from killing each tier troop, because I would only count merits for T4 and T5. So I would do like T4 merits T5 and then combine T4 T5. Now, that's just because I would like to, I do think merits is a good indicator of activity throughout a season for how much you're fighting, but the merits have to be specific. Just showing your overall merits, to me, it's not enough. Now, yes, maybe you can argue that if you are in some of the top KvK groups, where for the most part, you're probably just going to be fighting T4, T5. But it's not as accurate as it could be. We could get 100% accuracy if they just showed the tier breakdown. That's what I'm hoping they do. Just like I'm hoping they eventually add that in for kills, deads, and heals, I would love to be able to see that for all the players, where you can see what's your T1, and they just throw it into one of those drop-down columns that they have on the player profiles. That, to me, I think would just be a greater indicator of the kind of data that we can use to add a lot more loving and just TLC context to this. However, with that in mind, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'd love to know a couple things outside of what you think. One, yes, because I'm sure I've already got a couple of these questions, is will I be doing this for future for other KvK groups as well from Season 2 and beyond, or maybe once they get to Season of Strife? Yes, I will be. That is my plan. Along with, if there's any other kinds of columns or ways that you'd like to see me present the data, other pieces that you think maybe, hey, would be cool if you could collect this, let me know in the comments down below. That's going to be it for me. As always, until next time, we'll catch you later.